My name is Pop. Co-casting with me tonight, making her e-rev TV debut, is going to be Tesla. What's up, Tesla?
Nothing much. It's definitely a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for letting me join you, Pop. I'm excited about tonight. How about you?
Oh, I'm very excited, and we are also very excited to have you aboard. An excellent commentator, guys, Tesla. If you guys haven't heard her, she is great. Of course, I have to give you a little bit of love there, Tesla. And of course, I'm excited. We have an amazing TVT finals here in the Alienware Arena Killer Launch Detected StarCraft 2 tournament, which I'm sure you've all been keeping up with. Of course, we have Select, the devastating Terran. As I said, he is going to be facing off against our green almost said Protoss there, Terran Skillet, who defeated a Protoss in his earlier match. That was against Suggy, of course. So I am very excited about that. Of course, the first map is going to be Metalopolis, so we should get this underway here in just a bit. Pele. Alright, so spawning here in the 12 o'clock position on Metalopolis is going to be our blue Terran Select, and in the 6 o'clock position that is going to be our green Terran Skillet. Of course, these cross positions going to be more good for a longer macro game. Tesla, what do you think?
I definitely would have to agree. Macro and air battles, they're definitely going to want to have air control on a map like this. Just because of the distance, and with the medevacs you can do a ton of drops, that sort of thing. Not to mention, those Zelnaga watchtowers are going to be a huge thing in this kind of play, especially for TVT.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And just to give you guys a little bit of background as to how we got here, of course, Select is so far undefeated. He did take out Vibe, a very good Zerg player, in the upper brackets, and of course Skillet, as I mentioned, did take out Suggy from Root Gaming previously in the lower bracket finals, and I believe he also took out Huck, which is very difficult to do. So both very good players, of course Diamond players. You're only going to get the best here at e-rev TV, so this should be an amazing match. I mean, let's just take a look real quick at the APM tab. We just love that APM tab here at e-rev TV. Look at Select go. What a baller. 243 average APM. That is amazing. Skillet at a measly 41, but of course, as we've said before, APM not necessarily an indication of skill, but of course these players with the high APM do tend to be slightly better than the players with the lower APM.
Well, you know why that is, right? The whole reason for the APM early spam is so that they can warm up their fingers for all those hotkeys for when it comes to the micro game later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep that tempo going here. And taking a look at the build, it looks like Select is just opening up fairly standard here, getting his orbital rather on 16. You usually see that on 15, but he did opt for that. Both players taking their gas, so fairly standard games here now. It looks like Select is taking a rather early second gas, so this might hint towards a more tech-heavy play such as Banshees or Siege tanks.
Definitely will be very tech heavy, as we see that Select is going to go ahead and throw his tech lab down on his barracks already. However, we do see a factory here for Skillet in the making.
Yep, it looks like Skillet is throwing down that factory. Maybe he does want to go the 1-1-1 build, which is fairly standard in TVT. Allows you to get out a Banshee, Hellions, whatever you want to open up to harass your opponent with. For Select opting for the tech lab, and it looks like he is going to be making a Reaper here, so very unusual, but of course Select is an incredible player, so if he's getting a Reaper, it must be for a very good reason. So I look forward to seeing what he does with that. And as far as Skillet goes, it looks like he is also getting his factory just about done, so his factory going to be done a little bit faster than Select's rather. But of course those small differences could mean a big difference in the late game. And in fact, Skillet is throwing down a starport now, so it is looking like a 1-1-1 build here from Skillet.
And if Select does this correctly, his little Reaper there is going to scout it completely. He's going to see everything that's going on in Skillet's base as that Reaper is approaching, looking for an expo. Or maybe not, he's just chilling. Oh, there he goes. He sees that there's no expansion yet for Skillet. So he'll probably go into the main here, see if he can get some scouting information and maybe even a little harassment done on the mineral line.
Yep, there goes that Reaper for Select, taking out one SCV. Of course, even the slightest bit of kills in the early game can add up towards the late game, but that shouldn't be too much of a difference here. Let's take a look at the units tab. It looks like Skillet with 21 SCVs and Select with 20 now, so not really any difference at all. It's looking like Skillet is opting for a more marine heavy composition here with 6 Marines. Skillet opting for that siege tank, marauder, and a marine. And it looks like we do have one Hellion also coming in from Select. And will he opt to scout with that? Yes, it looks like he's pushing in here, but that gets immediately destroyed before he gets any valuable scouting information done at all.
So right now, neither one of them have very much information on the other. So they're probably just kind of going off of their own bases, trying to figure out, you know, this is what I'm doing. I'm probably going to expect, you know, a similar build.
Yeah, it looks like the cloak for the Banshee here is coming in from Skillet rather, and he is making a single Banshee. So let's see where he has that rallied over. He already has one out, and it looks like he has the other one rallied. He looks like he wants to do some damage here, but Select Siege Tank and Marine or Marauder rather are positioned to spot it. But it looks like he did leave that Banshee just chilling there over the buildings. Looks like he just wants to wait for that second Banshee maybe.
Maybe, but this Viking of Selects is going to go ahead and try and get some scouting done. Now, if he goes into that base from that front, he's, you know, near that ramp, he's just going to get wrecked. So hopefully he'll go into the base from a side and try and get some scouting, but he doesn't at all. He turns away because I guess maybe he saw the Marines move. It looks like the Marines saw him.
Yeah, Select wisely just poking in with that Viking and wisely backing out. And taking a look here, we have Skillet's very injured Hellion on the left side of the map, just sort of chilling there by the Mink statue, just admiring the artwork there. Select throwing down his expansion and a missile turret, so Select anticipating the Banshees here. Skillet is getting that stim pack that is a little over, that is about halfway done there. So it looks like maybe Skillet wants to do a timing push here once stim finishes, but of course he is going to have a rough go at it since Select already with a massive sizable force here rather, with siege tanks, 3 Marines, 1 Viking, 1 Marauder, and the expansion there. That is not going to be easy to break. I mean, Select is a great player, so he is researching his siege mode. He doesn't quite have siege mode just yet, but by the time that this attack comes, he may have that siege mode already researched.
He probably will have that siege mode done by the time the attack comes. Now, something interesting here to note is even though it's just kind of a small difference, it's that small difference that makes the huge difference, is that Select's natural is going to be up way before Skillet's is, and this is going to put him in a bit of an economic advantage because he's already going for it right now. He's already transferring his SUV, so this is going to be a really good position for Select.
Oh, and he gets that cloak Banshee. Select getting that scan, getting that Banshee, so good.
Beautiful scan.
That was very nice. Yeah, very well done. You do not want to lose even a single Banshee. And TVT, I mean, they're just so essential to get that harassment done. And there's the orbital on Select's expansion there. Little Marauder there just chilling over there by the gas, admiring the vapors. Alright, and let's take a look here and see what Skillet is up to. It looks like the scan going down at Skillet's mind. And now look at that, the cloak Banshee coming. Does it get taken out? No, it doesn't. Select's micro too good. He does have 5 kills on that Banshee. Select is just so good, getting that Banshee out right before that Marine force was able to take him out. And look at that, even splattering a Marine there, leaving his lifeless corpse on the battlefield. Now he's doing a little bit of harassing on the mineral line. Look at that, forced to pull all the SCVs off mining. That is going to hurt the income for Skillet quite badly. And I believe that was 1 Marine that stim. I'm not sure. Actually, that was all the Marines. So forcing a stim there, he does manage to take out that Banshee though.
The Banshee was able to pay for itself, though, which is definitely worth losing that 1 Banshee. You know, he got X amount of SCVs, and he pulled all those SCVs off of the main, which hurts even more in the long run. Not to mention, I can't believe that Skillet, he sat there and scanned with nobody right there to attack that Banshee. I'm not sure if that was the wisest thing, in my opinion, but definitely Select is in a great advantage here. He has got himself in a really great position, has those tanks sieged, and he is just saturating his natural as much as possible.
Yeah, taking a look at the unit counter here, we have 35 workers for Select versus 27 for Skillet. So there you go, the macro difference showing for our Select player here. Forces a stim once again on those Marines. Does he get the Banshee? Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, dude, look at that. He's microing, picking off Marines. Banshees, of course, can micro fairly well against Marines, even stim Marines. And look at how injured these Marines are from Skillet. He needs to get medevacs out. He is making one right now, but he is supply blocked. Oh, not good. There we go. Now he's no longer supply blocked, and that medevac. He has one medevac. I'm sorry, he does have one medevac healing those Marines, but that is definitely not enough here. And it looks like we do have some harassment here coming in from Select. 4 kills on that Banshee. Select so good with the Banshees, getting, like you said, getting the cost effectiveness out of that Banshee.
Well, not only that, once again he forced Skillet to move all of those SCVs at the main, and in the long run that sets him back so much and just keeps putting Select further and further ahead. Now Select is making another command center, so we will be seeing him expand here. I believe about the 10 o'clock Expo probably is where he's going to expand to next, so this is definitely going to put him very well further in the lead than he already is. And I like this sensory tower position he's got here. Oh, and what is this? A medevac drop?
Yeah, this drop got scouted a long time ago, even before it hit the range of that sensor tower. So he is so prepared. Look at that, the Viking taking shots at the medevac. Marines stim up, they take out the Raven. That's actually pretty important here. But the Marines and the Marauders going to clean this up, and Select taking out the medevac with the Viking there. Great building placement by Select. If you take a look here, that drop really couldn't do much. He does have an engineering bay researching infantry weapons level 1. Of course, the refineries, the starport, and the barracks all blocking access to the mineral line. So it's a great sim city there from Select. And as you mentioned, that sensor tower, of course, alerting him to that drop. Some excellent play here from Select. He sure knows his TVT.
That he does. Now, something interesting here is when we look at the units lost tab, and this is very important kind of early to mid game, because every unit loss can really make a huge difference in the late game aspect. Just, you know, what you could have done, what you could have had, and what you don't have. And we see that Skillet has lost 34 units. The value of that is at 2,500 minerals compared to Select, who's only lost 14 units, totaling out 1,400. But oh my goodness, the Skillet did spot this Expo, and that Marine did take out one SCV, but that was it, and then got killed by a Marauder.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, taking a look at the Army tab here, the supplies tell the story. 135 versus 120 here from Skillet, but it looks like here comes a big battle. Skillet pushing out with Marine, Marauder, and a Raven. Look at the Vikings taking out that Raven so quickly. Sieges up the tanks, the Marauders going to town, but Skillet has so many forces here. Will he be able to break this Select? Forced to land the Vikings here, the Marauders stimming up, taking out the siege tanks. So many siege tanks still up here for Select, but they are getting taken out quickly, and Skillet manages to win that battle. But does he win the war?
Well, the war isn't over yet, but definitely great positioning there by Skillet, and a great unit composition. That one medevac definitely paid for itself, making him last longer. Now, during that battle, we did miss that Skillet is expanding to the gold mineral high yield field closest to him. So that counts for about a base and a half, going to make a big difference there as Skillet goes ahead and pushes for this 10 o'clock Expo of Selects.
Yeah, it looks like Skillet just overextending himself a little bit, just getting just a little bit overzealous. He did have that battle won, but then he went over to the third for Select and just got his forces demolished. So instead of being relatively even with Select, now he's just way behind. I mean, look at the supply. It's 117 versus 87 supply. So that macro kicking in from Select here, that third getting very nicely populated. Of course, he does have a siege tank there over at the third, which is going to allow him to just mine that base very safely. And as you mentioned, he is going for the gold, but it is still over It still has about 25% left to go, and it looks like Skillet wants to make another little poke here. He is heading up with a relatively sizable force here, Marine Marauders, and Select, of course, covering the map with sensor towers, has sensor towers at his main and at the third, so that's going to cover all sorts of draw play. And here we go, here comes another battle. Marine Marauders, they're going to be stemming. Marauders going to be taking the damage from the Marines and Marauders. There's the stem. Select once again landing the Vikings there. Now Skillet doing a good job here, sniping the siege tanks. Select gonna come out on top, however. Does he get this final siege tank? Oh, does the Marauder get the final? Yes, he does get the final siege tank. But Select with the Vikings managing to win that battle. 115 supply to 84. Taking a look at the units tab, it's 75 SCVs versus 50, so it's not looking good here for Select, or for Skillet rather.
No, it's not looking good for Skillet at all. Now, here we go. We see Select's going to go ahead and make a push. He's going to try and take control of the Selnaga Tower and probably push that gold if he can. Looks like he's going to be able to win this battle thanks to his tank placement and all that. Definitely great positioning there. But he needs to be careful that he doesn't over-push himself here with his units. You know, he needs to give himself time to heal up his Marines, so that he can continue trying this assault. But after scanning that gold high yield area, I don't think he's going to push, and I think that's a very wise decision. Oh, but look at that tank placement. Beautiful tank placement at the Zelnaga Watchtower there.
Yeah, that is an excellent position to set up your siege tank. So that Zelnaga Watchtower giving him plenty of vision, and even if that Zelnaga Watchtower wasn't there, of course, he has the medevacs giving him all the vision that he needs. And look at this Select with so many Marines here stemmed up, taking out Marauders. Vikings doing work on that orbital command, and actually that Banshee from Select with 18 kills now. A single Marine from Skillet. Will he take it out? No, he doesn't. The second one does. So many kills on that Banshee. Select is just such an amazing multitasker, able to do 100 things at once, and truly that is one of the hallmarks of a good StarCraft player.
Something interesting to note here is as Skillet was trying to land that command center, I love the fact that Select had his Marine right underneath it so that it took Skillet longer before he was able to drop it and try and start mining from that one base there. But it does look like Select is getting ready for another battle and going to try and push towards the natural area.
Yeah, Select just sort of flexing his muscle here, basically able to take most of his half of the map, and like you said, those little things that delay your opponent from mining can just add up over time, and it just goes to show you that the good players, they do it all. They don't just micro, they don't just macro, they do every sort of little harassment possible to get ahead, and truly that is one of the things that Select does. And an interesting note here is actually Select was playing this game from Korea on the US server, so of course there is the issue of lag, but Select, he doesn't care. Yeah, he doesn't care about that. He is just gonna ignore all of that and just roll over here Skillet, as it looks like, here we go, looks like this may be the final battle here. Here comes the stem, Marines coming in front, siege tanks in the back, such great positioning here. Medevacs gonna be healing up those Marines. Look at that scoot and shoot micro from Select as he just pokes in. Look at the siege tanks hammering in on those barracks, producing those Marines, and that Marine just came out and instantly died there to those siege tanks. That barracks does go down. Select with a great position here. Skillet is in a lot of trouble.
That he is, but it looks like Skillet's going to go ahead and try and push towards the gold that Select took. Now what Select did is he took his main orbital command and landed it at that gold area and is mining off of it. Now, of course, thanks to the Zelnaga Watchtower, so, Skillet knows that Select was right there, and, well, Select saw it and was fully prepared for it, and I don't think Skillet's going to be able to win this battle. No, he's not, even with Stim. Oh, there's the GG.
Yeah, there you have it. GG coming in from Skillet. An amazing job there done by Select, just completely out-macroing, out-microing, completely dominating his opponent. As I said, Select, a devastating Terran, playing from Korea, completely dominating Skillet there. So that was a great game. What do you think that maybe Skillet could have done differently to have this go his way?
Well, definitely, some of his earlier game things could have been a lot smoother. I think, you know, that early Reaper that he didn't stop fast enough, you know, being able to go ahead and kill it, obviously. Missile turrets would have helped him after how many Banshee kills, and keeping units where they could be, something like that important scan where he had the scan, he saw the Banshee, but he didn't have any units there. So why are you going to use the scan if you've got nothing there to take out the unit
Yeah,
that
that
you
might have been a
just used
panic
the
move.
scan on? Small mistakes can
Yeah,
make the
absolutely.
biggest
He definitely
difference.
could have done things just a little bit better. Let's go ahead and load up game 2. Of course, that's going to be on Lost Temple, a great TVT map. Of course, you have to watch out for those Thor drops. So go ahead and just cue us right in. Or do you have the map loaded, Tesla?
Yes, I do. I'm ready when you are.
All right. Pele, go ahead and cue us in, buddy. Alright, welcome back. This is the StarCraft 2 Killer Launch Detected Tournament brought to you by Alienware Arena and Bigfoot Networks. Check them out at alienwarearena.com and bigfootnetworks.com. So big shout out, big props to those guys making esports grow in North America. So big ups to them, of course. Just a quick reminder, the first place prize is $500 and the Killer 2100 Gaming Network card. Second place is going to be $250. And just a little interesting chat here. It looks like Select has a little bit less lag now than playing in the US on the Korea server. So yeah, as I mentioned, he is on the Korea server playing, he is in Korea rather, playing on the US server, and surprisingly enough, that's less lag than playing on the Korea server in the US. So just a little interesting tidbit there for you aspiring esport pros hoping to make it big in Korea. You'll have less lag if you play in a US server on Korea. But regardless, of course, let's go over these spawning positions. We have a Skillet here spawning in the left side of Lost Temple, the green Terran, and at the bottom we have Select, the blue Terran, spawning at the bottom. Of course, I already said that. And it looks like these are going to be the close air positions and long ground positions. So once again, this could be some Banshee play, could be some marine timings. Who knows? We'll see.
That is for sure. We could see some more drops like we did in the last game. For those of you who are just tuning in, you missed an amazing match versus Select and Skillet. And I believe Select came out on top of that one. So this is going to be a very interesting match, kind of a decider here. Go on to a third match.
Yeah, absolutely. Shame on you if you're just joining us. Just kidding. We love you guys here at e-rev. Thank you for joining us. We definitely do appreciate you guys checking out e-rev and checking out some great StarCraft 2 action. So this should be awesome, guys. Let's take a look here just at the beginning. Of course, in TVT, the openers are pretty much identical for the first 4 minutes or so. Sending out that scout is going to be Select. Looks like he's going to be scouting in the wrong position, so he will, in the wrong direction rather, so he will be scouting his opponent last. And it looks like Skillet opting for the no scout play here. Little dangerous in my opinion, but it's Skillet. You know, he's a good player. He knows what he's doing, I'm sure. Sending that Marine out on the ramp just to catch any scouting SCVs. Of course, Select doing the same. And let's take a look here at the production tab. It looks like the factory is coming in here fairly early from Skillet, so looking like he maybe wants to do another Banshee 111, possibly?
Possible. I definitely find it very bold. Considering how the last match went, I find it very bold of Skillet to sit here and not go ahead and scout. But we could see him do a move that other Terran players have done, which is they'll sit there, they'll make their factory, and they'll get a Hellion, and then they'll use that Hellion to scout. So we could see that sort of play coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Skillet pushing that SCV from Select out away from that Zelnaga Tower rather. And as you said, control those Zelnaga Towers so key, especially on a map like Lost Temple, where positioning in the middle can just be everything. And look at that SCV getting away with 3 hit points. That guy is very lucky to be alive. But let's take a look here once again at the production tab and look at this. It looks like, yes, Skillet going for the armory. It looks like he wants to get a Thor out onto the field. Thor rush. Tesla, what do you think? Is this gonna work?
You know, Thor Rush is great, but it's all about the timing. It's great against, you know, some of the other races, but in TVT, in mirror matchups, period, timing is essential. It is basically everything that there is to it in mirror matchups. You could have everything perfect, but be off by 1 second, and that 1 second can cost you the match. So it depends completely on when he makes this push. Generally, with the Thor push, you want to push with at least 1 Thor and like 2 SCVs to repair it, you know, so it lives and a little bit of a ground army to back it up. So we'll see if Skillet's able to make this work. If not, this could go in Select's favor. But what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I actually believe that with the Thor build, you may want to proxy the factory. I mean, the Thors are just very, very slow. Of course, the SCVs on auto repair are absolutely baller and necessary to keep those Thors alive. You definitely do not want your Thors to be without support there, and that Banshee from Skillet did poke out onto Select's ramp there, but of course Select able to meet that Hellion and not allow it to do basically anything. And now Skillet rather controlling both of the watchtowers here, so he has great information. So this door rush will at least will at least be able to see what he can see from the Xel'Naga towers, and will be able to plan a good route towards his opponent. But Select, look at that, prepping his Marines on the ramp. And let's take a look here. Stim is about a little over halfway, about 3/4 of the way through here for Select. So it's looking like this Stim pack will be researched by the time that this Thor push comes.
And just like we said, there's the first Thor. You know, it's out on the field chilling. Looks like he's going to wait for a second Thor before he pushes. Now, he does have some Marines here as well. Go ahead and take a look at the Units tab here. That's 1 Thor and 11 Marines versus 1 Marauder, 6 Marines, and 1 Raven. Now, that Raven could come in handy here if he's able to do some auto turrets. You know, throw those down to help him with his Marines and Marauders to hold off a bush. I mean, Select, that is. Keep saying him, and I keep forgetting it's a TVTs. You can't just refer to one. You gotta actually use their names.
Yeah, Select getting that Raven is really smart. He could get that point defense drone, which of course I believe, does it stop the Thor shots? I believe it does. I know it stops the Marauder shots, so it could be useful for that point defense drone, could be useful for that auto turret, as you mentioned. It's looking like Select wants to poke out a little bit here, getting his expansion a little bit saturated. There's Skillet looking like he just wants to sort of go all in here. I mean, he's not expanding. He does have a missile turret, so he is fearing the Banshee play from Select, even though I don't believe he has scouted anything to indicate. Well, maybe if did he get that scan? Let's take a look here at the vision of he does see the starport with the tech lab, so he is fearing the Banshee rush. And here we go, the little bit of an engagement here, that Marauder from Select getting the better of that, getting control of that Xel'Naga watchtower.
However, Select did get to see a bit of the unit composition. You know, he got to see Marines, a ton of them, and got hit a little bit by that Hellion. And now that he's got that Xel'Naga watchtower and he's keeping it, he's going to see exactly what's coming his way.
Oh, and it looks like Stim just done now for Select.
Definitely could not have asked for a minute sooner for Select. But one thing here is, look at all these SCVs. They're really late joining the Thors. That first Thor's down, the second Thor's going down, and the third Thor is now down. Definitely those SCVs needed to be there faster. And there is the GG. Definitely, as you said, was all in.
Yeah, definitely an all-in there, guys. An all-in is basically when your strategy fails, you auto-lose. And that was definitely an all-in from Skillet. Recognizing that he did fail with that assault, of course, throwing up the GG is Skillet, and the good job there. So very manner coming in there from Skillet. So congratulations are due for Select, who does take home the $500 first place prize, as well as the Killer 2100 Gaming Network card. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Select is your champion of the StarCraft 2 Killer Launch Detected Tournament, brought to you by Alienware Arena and the Bigfoot Network. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. For everyone here at e-rev and for Tesla, thank you for joining us, and have a great night.
Take care.